when I looked at the brick building and thinking, what a big place. It's a stone building, and I wonder if I'll ever get to finish visiting all the rooms in that building. Little did I realize, did I know, that my entry into that building would introduce a newness that was very alien to me. Yes, I go a long way back when you ask me about my schooling.
7 years old. That's how old Eva Cardinal was when she started school. 45 years later, she still cries when she thinks about it.
I always tell myself I put this away. I've worked on myself so hard. I've gone to counseling. I still cry when it comes to these issues. I guess because I'm a grandmother now, and I see them going to school, and I always have this prayer inside. If there is any way that I can play a role in my lifetime to make education a productive place to be in, I'll put my best foot forward.
Eva put her best foot forward 17 years ago when she quit drinking. Now she walks the halls of Edmonton schools working as a counselor for Native children, giving back what was taken away from her culture, and her family. Eva's parents had no choice but to send her to school. It was the law, a special school just for Native people, a place that became a nightmare for some children.
They used to call us stupid. They used to call us dummy, sauvage. You know, that's a degradation in its own. I've learned that what was done to us as children was very wrong. It was very wrong.
There were cases of sexual abuse. Children were raped and sodomized by clerics. And there was day-to-day violence carried out in the open. Students were punished for just about everything, for getting out of bed at nighttime, for wetting the bed, for speaking their own language.
And I remember this nun, she asked these bigger girls to help her and to get this girl. And these bigger girls, they kind of didn't want to, but they were instructed, and they had to go and hold this girl down, and they were instructed to put her on the table, face down, and they were also instructed to hold her down, and that nun hit her with a strap. That kind of humiliation in front of all the girls, the rest of us.
Cultural genocide is how many Native people describe their residential school days. Long days that turned into months before they were allowed to return to their parents. Run by the churches and paid for by the federal government, some of the old brick buildings still stand, testimony to a clash of two cultures.
It took me a long time to overcome this bitterness. As a matter of fact, today I'm not so angry at white people anymore. I think I was extremely bitter when I first left. I hated all white people. But now I realize that it was only a small portion. And then even then, I think I can forgive them because I think it's the government. And forgiving there is pretty damn hard.
Everett Soup now lives just a stone's throw from the residential school that he attended as a small boy. The bricks and broken windows still haunt him. The empty classrooms, a constant reminder of the humiliation and degradation he and his native classmates were often subjected to.
On that first day when I went to school, a lot of the boys went out and they were playing, they were singing their Indian songs. They had a piece of cardboard, they beat it and sang their Indian songs, and you know, the principal came out and called us the most degrading names, and you know, it was just never allowed to, in any way at all, to express ourselves in any way, or in other words, it seems to me there was a perpetual state of ignorance.
Well, forgiving the church and the government has become difficult for many Native people. They say the biggest challenge still lies in restoring the Indian culture and restoring the loss of dignity. In today's world, many of the graduates of the residential schools have alcohol and drug abuse problems. Plagued by violence, they've passed on their abuse to a new generation. Maggie Hodgson counsels these people. She says any apology from the church is too little and too late.
I think that the churches generally are having a big struggle. Sure, they're having their meeting, you know, about residential school. But if they were given a choice, you know, can you keep a lid on this? Or are we going to put it out in the public table? They'd put a lid on it, you know, because they've been given ample opportunity by disclosures, by people, over years, you know, and they've successfully been able to put a lid on it because social workers cooperated, RCMP cooperated, health and welfare cooperated, Indian Affairs cooperated. Everybody cooperated in that silence. And now people aren't cooperating anymore. So I don't know.
Well, the Catholic Church has never formally apologized to the Indian people until today. Many aren't sure if an apology will help. Some Native groups are looking for financial compensation, money to treat the victims of these schools. And they say it's going to take a long, long time.
I don't know. It's really very hard to say if an apology would help. There has been so much done to us already.
Rick Boguski, CBC News,
And it
Edmonton.
still follows us. My own